across Texas. The issue is.
I'm Greg Krugen in Houston.
I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
I'm Stephen Dial from the home of the World Series champion Texas Rangers, and this is Texas, the issue is.
Across the Lone Star State, voters have been asked to make the call on 14 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution. You can call most of the measures critical electoral keys, essential for unlocking and unleashing billions of surplus tax dollars. In other words, unless Texans give the go-ahead, all that money can't be legally returned to taxpayers or put to use solving some of our state's most pressing challenges.
These are generally consensus items that pretty much everyone agrees on, or most everybody agrees on.
Highly regarded Rice University political scientist Mark Jones assessing the 14 proposed amendments to the state constitution before Texas voters on November 7th. Most found their way to the ballot because lawmakers found themselves awash in $33 billion of surplus cash and were limited on how much they could actually spend. Approval by the full Texas electorate offered what Jones calls an end run around the legislature's budget cap. In Proposition 4, voters can give the green light to the biggest property tax rebate in state history, a $5.6 billion measure which permanently raises the homestead exemption on local school taxes from $40,000 to $100,000 per year per household.
Any homeowner will receive in perpetuity between a $750 and $1,500 windfall every year in terms of less taxes paid. And the key here is that even if you're a renter, if you're going to be a homeowner in the future, this is a benefit that you'll receive.
Proposition 6, 8, and 14 seek voter approval for major investments in water infrastructure, high-speed internet, and state parks. Total spending, $3.5 billion.
Most people support the expansion of broadband, primarily in rural areas, but also in some urban areas. They see our broken water systems, dated, aging, both in cities like Houston as well as in rural areas, and see the need for investment in water projects. And with the growing population we have in Texas, we have more demand on our state parks than ever.
Proposition 7 also addresses vital infrastructure, as in the fragile Texas power grid. If approved, the measure would set aside $5 billion to subsidize private construction of new natural gas generating plants to boost overall dispatchable electricity production.
If you're a net zero, Green New Deal type person, what this does and locks into place Texas's reliance on natural gas fueled electric generation for the foreseeable future, because all of these plants that are built are going to be built with a 20 to 30 year time horizon.
But according to Jones's polling, those climate concerned opponents will be in the minority come election day.
Voters are overwhelmingly going to vote for Proposition 7 because nobody wants a repeat of what we experienced back in February of 2021, where millions lost power for days and weeks at a time.
Proposition 5 seeks to address historic funding inequality enjoyed by the state's flagship university systems, UT and A&M, over at least 4 other public institutions of higher ed: Texas Tech, Texas State, North Texas, and the University of Houston. If approved by voters, a permanent shared endowment of nearly $4 billion would fuel future research at the quartet of rapidly rising centers of advanced learning. While Dr. Jones expects passage of Prop 5, he's detected animosity against higher education that's not insignificant.
And there's a segment of the voter population that doesn't have a favorable opinion of universities in Texas, particularly Republican primary voters, and they're a big block within this low turnout election.
Other potential benefactors of the budget surplus are the state's long-suffering retired teachers. Approval of Proposition 9 would deliver a long overdue upward bump to their monthly benefit checks. Total price tag, $3.4 billion.
Retired teachers are a sympathetic group. They haven't had a cost of living adjustment forever. This would provide them with a one-time cost of living adjustment. This is going to help teachers. It's certainly something that they all want, and I think it's going to have overwhelming support, but it's not going to get the teachers to where they should be in terms of cost of living, which they're way behind.
Okay, fellas, I'm taking a page out of Rudy's hyphenation playbook and calling this a no-brainer. Rudy, what's your one-word description?
Greg, I'm using a hyphen too. Shocker, right? My words in a blender, buyer beware.
Okay, Stephen, you're up.
I don't have a hyphen. I'm just going to say needed.
All right, lots more to discuss here when the Fox Texas Trio returns on the other side of this break. Welcome back. These constitutional amendments on the statewide ballot may seem confusing or boring or a little of both, but the bottom line is pretty clear. If they don't get approved, roughly $28 billion doesn't get put to work or returned to taxpayers. Stephen, Mark Jones calls the investments in rural internet, state parks, and water infrastructure and university endowments consensus measures. Do you agree? And did anything get left off the table?
I think these are all issues that a consensus of election voters could approve on, but you have to keep in mind turnout isn't typically high in these types of elections, and so the consensus is just a majority of those who show up. I think a lot of things are on this list, like you mentioned. Some things sound boring, but they're very essential and can dramatically change people's lives in some situations. The only thing that I think may have been left off, but this is a hot button issue for another day, is AC in prisons. Well, we can talk about that at a later date.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would have liked to have seen some funding for flooding. Rudy, Dr. Jones says the only spending proposition that could face any kind of headwind is the nearly $4 billion for research endowments at the 4 rising state universities. You agree?
In part, yeah, I understand the pushback on that, and I understand the schools other than UT and A&M saying they also want their own dedicated money pot. My problem is that higher ed is so unaffordable for students and so structurally outdated. I'd rather see this extra money stream go to tuition assistance program or a new Be On Time loan forgiveness program for kids. Craig?
All right, Stephen, we spent a lot of time here covering the fight over property tax relief, and it's the biggest chunk of cash on the table here. Are homeowners in North Texas generally pleased with the prospect of roughly $1,300 off their property tax bill?
Look, politics, there's always going to be back and forth and arguing, but at the end of the day, homeowners are going to be happy with getting any type of money off. And so $1,300, $13,000, prices are high, inflation is still a thing, and so I think anyone who owns property is going to be happy.
All right, Rudy, progressives in your neck of the woods probably aren't too happy with Prop 7, which sets aside $5 billion to subsidize natural gas-fired power plants. On the other hand, they probably don't like freezing in the dark either. Fair statement?
Yeah, very fair statement, but there's a protest on Thursday at Austin City Council on coal power plants. Prop 7 is on my watch list if approved. Something, has to be done to get more power plants built. The question is, will power companies actually tap into this program as long as the federal government and as long as progressives are trying to kill the fossil fuel business? The other issues on my watch list include Prop 2, the child care business tax break. Yeah, they need help, but let's see who actually gets to cash in on this. And I'm worried that Prop 10 could create a tax backlash. School districts will lose another revenue source. Will they try to find another? You better believe they will. Craig?
All right, Stephen, process question here. As we mentioned, these statewide propositions are an end run to circumvent the legislator's spending cap. So why even have a spending cap?
Right. I mean, because you have to have checks and balances, right? Lawmakers are already very clever in what they do. A lot of them are lawyers. And so you got to have a spending cap just to set the standards there. But there are ways to get around it, like you mentioned. And the chances sometimes aren't as likely for it to pass, depending on voter turnout.
All right, Rudy, quickly, you were mystified by some of the less prominent amendments.
Yeah, we got some questionables. Why am I voting for this? The current Galveston County Treasurer ran on a platform that he would help eliminate that job. Prop 12 would do that, allowing commissioners, county commissioners to hire a professional to manage their money instead of a politician. It is a local issue, but requires amending state law. That's why it's on the ballot.
All right, guys, that's it for now. You can see this week's interview and any of our past interviews by going to our YouTube pages.
And you can keep the conversation going by interacting with us on social media.
We will soon find out if school choice will need another special session assignment. Next week, we'll take a look at that and some other big questions that did get answered. And don't forget, let us know what you think the issue is.